On this episode of Mad Ginger Customs, we are going to build a custom vertical bike rack that attaches to a swing-out tire carrier for our 1985 Jeep CJ7. We always want to bring the bikes up to the mountain and drive the Jeep, but we had no way to do it. So we got a brand new Arccaptain welder. We're going to demo that out and we're going to build us a rack. Let's go! Well, welcome back to Mad Ginger Customs. We are in Connecticut, so per normal, it is humid and raining on the weekends because, you know, taxes, oppression, and miserable weather. What are we doing today? We're doing a bunch of stuff today, tons of stuff. We are going to build a hanging bike rack. Will slide onto my swing out tire carrier on my CJ because it is mountain bike season. Now, granted, I'm, you know, bulbous. Boys, I get it.
You're fatter in person.
But I love mountain biking and so does my wife. We love it so much that we bought season passes to our local downhill spot, which is Powder Ridge Bike Park, which is Powder Ridge Ski Area. It's in Middlefield, Connecticut. Jess and I were talking, we're like, man, we really would love to take the Jeep CJ down with us when it's nice out. You can't put bikes on a CJ unless you put like one of them big racks off the back that twist the bumper off the thing. Not a good thought. So I had the idea of, why couldn't I make a piece that goes onto my swing out tire carrier, like a hanging rack, so it hangs our bikes vertically? So this is what the garage normally looks like, is there's gravel bikes and hardtails and enduro bikes and trail bikes, and the rest of them are either hanging up or they're, I think there's 3 in the basement. You need a bike for every different thing you do, right? I just like building bikes, honestly. But anyway, so what I'm going to do in this video is we're going to build that rack, and we are also going to slide in a review deeply.
Yeah, baby! Yeah.
Of the brand new Arccaptain MIG250. So Arccaptain sent the MIG250, and you know, I think we're all kind of tired of doing the 15-minute review videos on that kind of thing. And they said, what if you build something dealer's choice? You know, and then talk through our welder. And I said, I think my boys would like that. So anywho, we also bought China Freight's,
Let's say China.
fabulous compact bender. Let's see if this bender will bend what's in here. This is 1/2-inch round stock. I bought way too freaking much of this. But that's what's going to be our basket to put our front wheel in. I know it's going to be hard, but who can we credit with designing things like that? This is not going to be something I made up by myself. Velociracks, JB racks, they make basket type hanging so your bike is vertical. I'm going to try to mimic what I see because they don't make what I want. They both make great products, and I wouldn't turn you away from that. It's just that for me, I need it to bolt onto my tire carrier. This is my 85 Jeep CJ7. We rarely ever drive this. It's all fiberglass. The frame was basically, I rebuilt all the frame underneath it. New body mounts were needed. All new everything. Shocks, springs, wiring harness, carpet, seats, everything. We did this a long time ago, many years ago. It's a 258 straight 6 with a T5 with a Dana 300 twin stick. This is the area we're working in. Now you'll say, Dave, that looks like a Smitty built bumper. And it is. You say, Dave, why didn't you make your own bumper? Frankly, I gotta be honest with you, when I built this, I was in a super big hurry. I didn't do YouTube and I was very busy with work, and I'm like, I just need it done. So I just bought whatever I could find that would suit it. Here it is. So this part swings out. But what we're looking to do here is hang a bike off the back. This is a carbon fiber framed bob tracks. I bought the frame clearance because the company was going out of business. Or no, because this was a demo. Marzocchi Bomber Z2, some WTB wheels. It's got Pan Racer tires, pretty simple. This is all like cheap Amazon stuff. The whole cockpit's all Amazon junk. But the bike actually rides real nice and it climbs well. Drivetrain was given to me. So here's the thought. And the reason I'm using this bike is because this bike is the lightest bike I have because it's carbon fiber and it's like 25 pounds. Where my enduro bike is like 40. We're looking to do this. Like this. That's what we're looking to do. And hold 2 bikes. Now the top is a problem. And the basket is a problem. So I don't necessarily know if I got to move the basket back or tip it on an angle. It might have to go on an angle. But this is the thought. Okay, this is Jess's Siskiyou T7, which is a Polygon brand bike. They're mail order bikes. I don't have this, you know, allegiance to bike shops. Maybe I should, but I don't. So this is a 27.5 wheel. This is the smallest bike we have. All of my bikes are 29ers. But we want a basket that's going to fit both. And you don't want it so it's going to smash the rotor. It should tip the other way anyway. So I was thinking a 30-inch basket would do it. That way, on my big Colossus, which is this bike, that's my enduro bike, we'd still have enough room here, 30 inches. So I think I want it 30 inches long and about maybe 3.5, 4 inches on the inside. I don't know what I can do with this bender, and I don't even know what it comes with for arbor, so we're going to try that with some 1/2-inch big dog steel, and we'll weld it all together with the Arccaptain MIG250. So let's do that. This is the Harbor Freight Compact Bender. Customized bracket supports and other parts on the job site. Capacity says 5/8 round or square solid rod. So what we have in this tube is 1/2 inch. So we are under the max capacity. Guys, if you buy a device that the max capacity is what you need to use on a daily basis, don't buy it. Buy the next one up. Buy the next bigger size. These rarely do max capacity. I bought the sheet metal brake, and if you guys watch my channel long enough, you've seen that video. That video's got a lot of views, probably 100,000 plus. And we had to modify it just to get it to do like the factory listed capacity. Do not do that. I'd have to guess everything's in here. So this is the spinny roundy round. Ooh, it makes quite a nice harmonic when you bang it. This is the pull handle with the extended arm. Hardware pins. Some type of locking shoe. More hardware. And these are the rolling arbors. They look like they're all there. Probably gonna look at that. Assembly's pretty straightforward. The directions are surprisingly good, being honest. It'll show you how to make like brackets and right angles. It does have a stop, and it has like a right angle stop. I'm not gonna be using that where we're going. I use a roller stand on my plasma table. It's kind of bouncing, but it's just about 0.01. That's okay. Trying to be as pleasant as we can. Now this is not level, but like I said, we can force her either way. So let me set you up on the stand and we'll see how easy this bends. Now technically what I'm doing here is we're going to bring just this piece over here till about there, and then what we'll do is we're going to measure where we start and stop and go from there. It's about as level as it's going to get. It doesn't matter if we keep this on or not at this point, because of the fact that this will deflect on its own and we can work with that later. Guys, I'm a big person, right?
Allegedly.
I'm 250, I'm like a strong person. So if I can do this by hand, I would say most able-bodied men probably wouldn't have a problem with it. So this is moving just a little bit to hit the stop. And I'm just gonna send her and we'll see how bad or good it is. Oh, I gotta lean on it, boys. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yep. But that gives me confidence. Oh, it is drawing it through. It's drawing it through. So that changes things. Then you got spring back, so you gotta get yourself close enough that your spring back is not gonna affect you. I mean, hell. That's pretty good, guys. All right, let's back it out, and I'll take it out and I'll show you. I gotta be honest, it's really good. It didn't really deform it. So these are Schwalbe Magic Mary tires. These are 2.6. This slides right over. That's going to be perfect for what we need. That's pretty good. So let's do some mathemagitionals now and try to figure out how much we got to send this back through and twist it. So we're going to put it back on the stand. We might have to bring the stand much closer, but let's try to, you know, let's not waste on it if we don't have to. I'd rather have it too long than too short, because I can always cut it and weld it. Technically, it didn't pull through if you hold it by the block. That one's about 30, which still works. But these are pretty much, you know, the same size, within ½ inch. So these work good. So that's the plan. We're going to use these for the baskets. Ladies and gentlemen, our special guest star today is our Arccaptain MIG250. Now, if you watched my video on the Arccaptain MIG200, this is going to look and work identically. Except this is the big dog. So this has way more power, higher duty cycles, comes with the upgraded orbital socket Euro connector whip. Everything else is pretty much the same. It comes ready to flux core. It comes with a hose. If you want to use gas, you have to purchase a regulator. It comes with a stinger. She's pretty much ready to ride out of the box. What they did do is they updated the setup guide to include US measurements. There's a lot of stuff, and it's all in freedom units in here. So that's always good for the guys that are metric stupid like me. They got a nice light in here, so you can see what you're doing when you got to load wire and maybe adjust your tension. This machine, I'm just going to be honest with you, I love my MIG200. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything as far as like, hey, let's try it and see how it is. I love it. I loved it. I've had so many of my friends buy MIG200s, and every single one of them loves it. So we're going to just go through it really quick. So it has modes, it's got stick, it's got a lift TIG, it's got spool gun, and then it's got regular MIG. It also has synergic mode. You can turn that on and off if you need help, right? So you got your standard voltage, wire speed. You can use synergic mode, and then it'll help you. So you'll say, okay, what are we using for wire? 030. We are using 030. And then, you know, what kind of gas, what kind of material. So we're using mix. Synergic mode is on. And what this means is that's 2T, 4T, and then spot mode, because this is spot capable. If you guys want a serious walkthrough on this machine, I will put my MIG200 video in the description. It is a complete walkthrough. What I will cover on this is memory settings, because we did not cover that on the MIG200. And a couple guys asked me, they're like, hey, can you save presets? Yes, you can. And especially with a machine this big, you're going to want to save presets, because, you know, you're going to want like a sheet metal preset maybe, and then like a 1/4 inch thick steel preset and things like that. But this is going to be what we're using today. It's volt, amps. It's also it's got an induction setting, so you can have like a really wet puddle, or like a dry thin puddle. It does pretty much everything you could possibly imagine. This machine is an overall bargain. These machines are extremely affordable. As a garage user, this is the only machine you're going to need, because you can do aluminum with it. You can actually put a graphene liner in this whip, and you can do aluminum right out of it. I would suggest you get the Arccaptain spool gun. I do have the Arccaptain spool gun. It is a good quality spool gun. Anyway, this video is not really about this machine per se. So we're going to get back to these. Now, what I did was I just tapered them so we can butt them together. That way we get some good penetration in there. And let's take the 250 for a spin and see how she does. And hopefully we can get this thing moving. So that's all we got, right? We just kind of smooth it out with the flap wheel. Obviously, we could have do a nicer job straightening it out, you know. But this is just going to be, honestly, on the Jeep, getting beat up with by the elements and by bikes. So this isn't a showpiece, but it's very strong. I mean, this is this is good. This is going to be great for what we need it to do. So now we need to figure out how tall we're going to need this down to the rack, and then are we going to clear the top of that soft top? That's a problem. Okay, this is day 2 because we went mountain biking today. Bikes are still in the truck. I'm 2 bikes lighter, as the red bike I was using as the mock-up bike because it was carbon fiber and it was light. I ended up giving to my brother-in-law because it fit him well and he liked it, so I'm like, you can keep it. Because, you know, I'm not going to ride it because I got another chromoly hardtail. And we gave my sister a bike too. So now we have more room in the garage. It's nice. So we got these hoops made. What I'm thinking is I need a piece that doesn't hold the hoop vertically. I want it so it leans and the hoop stays flat, but it leans so the tire has somewhere to lean into. I got a bunch of this round rod left. Maybe we could take the round rod and put, you know, more of a bend than 90 on it. I'd have to kind of figure that out. And then we could run it flat on the bottom and mount it to a piece of steel, and that'd be one side, and then all we have to do is support the other side. That'd be pretty easy. And then the basket would be done. We just got to make 2 of the same thing. So I think we're going to stick with the Harbor Freight Bend-O-Matic. So something like this. That'll give us the angle enough to weld underneath it, and we'll put them out like outriggers, kind of like this, to span one going one way and one going the other. I don't know. So I'm going to try to mimic this. We have to cut more off of that, but if I can make 4 of these with what I have left, that'd be great. As far as repeatability, this is 4 stacked on top of each other. That's pretty decent. Cut them at the ends, cut them there. Bender, good. Would be nice. I think the pins are undersized for the holes. These pins are super sloppy. I think these are 3/4 holes, and these are like 9/16 or something, because these are kind of sloppy. But overall, this thing gets it done. 9 out of 10 for Harbor Freight so far. I don't know if you guys can even see that. 0.1, it's close enough. So we're trying to get this flat, and this is going to be the lean angle. Now, looking at this, maybe it's too much. I'm not sure. And I got to center it in here, and then we're just going to tack real quick. I'm not too worried about this fitment here because we're going to fill that with weld, and that's going to be solid. See if we can't tack it in and not have it move. Cramps in my ribs. Shite. Hurts me. Oh, not enough magnesium in my life. Pretty much stayed where I needed it to. That's good. So that's like the general idea. And then when you put the tire in it in the basket, it'll lean. That's not bad. And then all we got to do is support it vertically here. Simulation number 1. Use the absolute heaviest bike you have. The angle is perfect. It's not high enough up to hit the spokes or the fork. This is going to be good. Jess's might need a spacer. I should try it. Her bike is still in the truck because I rode my T8 today. She rode her T7. But this is ideal. This is exactly what I wanted. So now all I have to do is make a couple of these and blast them together. Pretty happy with that. Right now, let's see if we can't get this a little bit more firmed up with this big monster 250. See if I can get my hand. I can't get my hand in here, huh? Dude, this thing is a joy to use. Look at that. Wow. That's nice, boys. This thing welds so good. Guys, I kept this thing on synergic mode. That is a brick house. Honestly, so happy with that. So I think what we're gonna do is, you know, we're gonna rest our bar across the top, determine how short we can cut it. And then I think it's gonna need to be elevated. Like maybe 3 or 4 inches, because the rack has to clear the top, and especially if the tire's coming out like this. Well, obviously this isn't square. That's not the important part. The important part is, what does this look like when it's up on there? If it's flat, it's not going to be enough room. The tire is definitely going to hit the top, right? The top bar. See, there's no room. But if this was, say, lifted up 3 inches, that's plenty of room. So I think what I'm going to do is, this piece going across is too wide. So I'm going to knock off a chunk off the end of it, and that we're going to use as a spacer up to put underneath it. And then I'm going to weld this receiver right to it. This is a piece that we cut because we needed the end of it. Now I can use this side, which is actually correct. So we'll make a piece to go inside it, and then we'll slide that over and we'll weld all of this together. And then we'll have a good sturdy platform, and we'll figure out where we need to mount our baskets we made. That piece across the back, 48 inches. Now I'm just gonna knock 3 inches out of this, so we got a little bit of lift. All right, now we just gotta tack this thing in the center, kind of going by feel, because there is, you know, it does bow down, or bend down. So let's just give it a little. Just a little, I don't want too much. In the end, this is the piece we're going to clean up. We're going to leave this end on, and we can use the hitch pin part, and then we're just going to use one of those, like the cinch up lockdown pieces, like it's a U-bolt, and it puts pressure on to keep you tight, because this will have some play, you know. So this will go like this. So we're going to weld this, and then we're going to come up here, and then we're going to weld that. Now this might be a little off center, off kilter, but this will give us a good idea of where we're at on the truck. So let's go bring this thing to the truck, and then we'll figure out our basket orientation. And I'm gonna weld the baskets right to this. Now guys, normally I wouldn't do that if I was gonna reuse this in any manner, but this is really only gonna fit this Jeep. If you got a swing out tire carrier or Smitty built one that's got that post up, or you could build a post up, everything, the process is still the same. Make the baskets, figure out the length, you know. Memory card's going dead in this thing. I got 22 minutes. Can I finish this in 22 minutes? Probably not. So let's go throw this thing on, set it on there, see, like, is it even remotely reasonable? And then we'll figure out, do the baskets have the height to clear the tires? And I can't use the receiver piece unless I really give it to it. So I think we're gonna hold off on that. And this is kind of crooked because of the way it sits, because the receiver's not in there. But as far as height goes, the tire retreats immediately into the basket when it's on the bike. I think we're fine. I really do. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna zip this around pretty good. And then I'm gonna flip that around 90 degrees because I want the hole going this way. We could obviously drill a new hole in it. And weld this to that. And then that's all one piece. We can lock it down, and then we can kind of we can put weight on it and determine where we want this. I think we're gonna do a test and see if synergic mode is better than if I dialed it in manually. Because a lot of guys will only use synergic mode because they're beginner welders, and I understand that. Well, the wind's not gonna help, I know that. So what I think we should do is, this is 1/8 wall. Now, 1/8 wall is what gauge? Close to 11 gauge. On this it says that you should run 20 volts, which is equivalent to like 176 amps. I don't know about that. That seems like a lot for this. This thing penetrates really good. I think I'm gonna try one pass. This is for me. It's not a customer, so we can do a little experiment together, and then I'll try to dial it in myself and we'll see what works better. So I'm gonna put it right to what it says, and we'll try that first. Okay, now your hand speed is obviously important, and your angles and such, and I'm not a professional welder. I will tell you that 1,000 times throughout my videos. I'm a hobby welder. But this is set to 20 volts in synergic mode. So I'm gonna do my best to make a good pass with it, and we'll see how we do. I think it's too much wire, so what I would do, the heat's probably good, but what I would do is I think I would dial some wire out of it. So I'm gonna put this manual with this button here. Now you can control everything. So I think it should be like, it's way too much, I think it's too much heat, so I think it's 18.8, and then maybe 385. Let's try that. 18.8 at 385. Let's go 18.9, whatever. I think this would be more comfortable for me personally, but let's find out. I'll show you guys, you know, real time like I did. And if we make adjustments, like I said, this is not for a customer, this is more for us experimenting. So we can kind of screw around with it and decide, you know, oh, we want it slower, we want it faster, we want this, we want that. I like that way better. I like that much better. So that works better for me. You know, that's 20 volts at like 394. And this is 1/8 inch. Now, we need to get that receiver piece sat on here. It is gonna butt the welds, but that's okay. That's okay, we can weld right around that. So things to keep in mind, so on a tire carrier, you know, this will twist like this, how it's loaded. So, I mean, it's pretty straight in relation to the top. And then I measured it from the bumper deck, like here, look at all the pollen. Oh. Up and it's within, you know, say 1/8 of an inch. It'll change though when it's loaded, so I might want to go more that way. But what I think we can do is set a basket on here and maybe clamp it and see if we can't put a bike on it. It's sliding the hoop out. I mean, I got plenty of room to weld, and I got a cap for the end. That sits perfect. And even if I got to strap a bar across the bottom, you know, or put a piece of plastic here. I mean, we're obstructing the plate a little bit, but not a lot. That should be fine. But I mean, that's pretty good. I like that. It works. I like what I see here. Just this basket's a little tipped because we have to move it and weld it. It's actually tipped a little back to begin with, the way it was welded together, but that's okay. You know, her tires are a lot smaller. Oh, are we hitting her brake line? We might be. Yeah, we might have to adjust that. Like, what do you guys think? That's pretty cool, right? So this tire sits right on the tire carrier. I think that's it. If anything, I could put something under here to lift up just a 1/2 inch, because I don't like her brake hose riding on that. So maybe I'll put a puck under here. But all in all, that's pretty sweet. Pretty happy with it. I just tacked it where it was. I turned up the heat a little bit because that bar is thick. She's a thick girl. So I tacked it on this side, so I'm going to run a bead on that side, or stitch it good. You know, do you ever want to run a full bead? Because if it starts to crack, it'll crack all the way instead of hitting your next gap. That's what I was always told. Is that, guys, hit me in the comments, is that even true? I had an old welder tell me that. They're like, oh, you don't ever want to do that. You're gonna, if it cracks, it'll crack all the way. Should your welds crack? I don't know. A lot of pressure on this thing, so maybe it will. But let's get over here. This thing's not really held up by anything, so, oh man, the wind. This is gonna be tough with the gas coverage for sure. I think I'm gonna save the setting if I like it, and the memory. I like that, that's pretty good. That's not bad. Really digging in there, so that's good. For somebody who, you know, I weld a lot on YouTube, but I don't weld a lot, you know? Usually the only time I'm welding is when I'm welding something with you guys. That's pretty good. This machine is very easy to use though. So is the 200. Honestly, the 200 is a great machine. This is just the big brother of that machine. It is a honking machine. She's a unit. Man, that was good. All right. Now, these have to be strutted down so they're not shifting. So we're gonna have to cut some pieces, but what I think I'm gonna do first is get this all wrapped in around the hitch. Maybe I could move you guys. I burn every lens. I know, it's terrible. I'm terrible about that. Can you guys see from there? Probably. Giant fat beads, because we don't want this coming apart. That'd be terrible. Thousands of dollars of bikes on the ground. had a guy in one video tell me that I was going to damage your guys' eyes because I didn't cover the lens. And I was like, sir, your television does not generate that kind of UV, but if you think it does, like, sorry, it does not. I do remember that though, and he was very angry, saying I was going to destroy his eyes. I don't think so, but I mean, okay, if that's what you're thinking. If that was you, let me know in the comments and say, Dave, you're destroying my eyeballs. Keeping with the theme of just using what I have left over, I got a couple short pieces there, and I got one long piece I can cut out over there, and I can make these struts right here. So I'm going to make a strut here and a strut here, so it'll be two. And that should give it enough stability that this doesn't bow down. Clean the tip. You always got to have a clean tip, you know what I mean? I can see there's a mosquito trying to eat me right here. I need a hammer. That's a hammer.
I don't think so.
I mean, that's pretty good. Could tap the rotisserie chicken in there. Overall, pretty good. They hang well, they're very rigid. The only thing that I don't like, oh, and I added, this is just one of those, like, makes your hitch more rigid if you got a bike carrier. So I'm gonna use that and then one bolt through. But the problem is here. So this has a tube in a tube, and then it's bolted here. But if you look at that joint in there, I don't know if you can see it, it kind of shifts. So what I think I'm going to do is just take off the powder coat here and on the other side, and just run a small bead there just to make it more rigid. I remember wanting to do that when I put that thing on, but... Alright guys, real quick, because I thought I never went over the memory settings of this before. You're going to use your arrow button, your play button, to get to your M setting, and then you're going to pick your whatever setting you're on. So say we want to set something in number 4. So we're going to let it stay on 4, and it's going to go back to the main screen. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make, the adjustments are random. Say 215, 19 volts. Actually, let's change the volts too so we know it changes. And then we're going to go 17.5 volts and at 215. This is on MIG. This is just on non-synergic. And what you're going to do is you're going to wait 20 seconds. And it's going to store it in the memory. It's that easy. So the 0 setting is whatever you left the machine and you used it last will always be your 0. So in your memory settings, when you turn the machine on, it's going to say, what was my last setting at memory setting 0? And that's what you're going to be able to access immediately. So if you do the same thing every day, you do not have to turn the machine on and set it every day. It's going to remember where you're at and remember what you're doing. So now, if we go back to memory, we know we're on 4. So we could go to, say, 1, which was set at 140, and it was set on 18.5 volts, and it's set on mix. So this is on synergic. We're like, no, we like that other setting that we were on. Let's go back to that. So we're going to go back to our, oh, too many buttons. So we're going to back to our M, and we're going to go back up to our 215 on our 4, because we know we want our 4 setting. It's going to set you up in manual mode. You do not have to switch synergic mode and manual mode in your memory settings. It's going to do it for you. So it's going to know you're on 2T, you're on MIG, 17.5 volts at 215. That's all you need to do. So if you know you like specific settings for specific materials, all you do is get to your M's and you can go back through. So, you know, 197, this is set on 200 amps on synergic. This is 140 on synergic. You know, I just put in some random ones so you could see it, but it goes from synergic to manual, and you don't have to do a thing. Look at that nice bumblebee. Anyway, guys, that's a quick little tutorial on the memory setting. I found a leftover piece of 1/8 inch.
That's a leftover piece of quarter. I just want to keep it. It's getting kind of heavy. I don't want it any more heavy. I think we can cut some gussets out of this. Just small gussets. Gussets add a lot of strength. If I don't put them on there, I'm gonna wish I had, and you're gonna wish I had. So I'm gonna measure them up, and we'll have to cut some out. You guys ever seen this Harbor Freight? This is a metal cutting saw. I think it was like 60 bucks. The blade comes separate. You use a 5 3/8 blade. This only spins 4,000 RPM. This isn't for cutting wood. So I'm gonna see if it'll cut that 1/8 inch. I started cutting it with a death wheel, and I'm like, you know what? I got that saw that's brand new. Let's try that thing. I don't know if this is gonna work, but we'll try it. Precariously perched on a tire. Not the safest thing I've ever done. This thing doesn't spin so fast, I wouldn't really care. I don't know where the blade goes in. Right there, probably. I need to turn it on. I mean, it's working. I mean, man, it cut a big path at the end, like because it waggled maybe. It is cutting though. Hey, not bad. I mean, did we just find a winner? All right, I gotta have something else to cut this on. I'm gonna come back to you, but it works. That actually worked pretty good. Let's try it like this. Okay, the honest answer is that's not bad. You know, I got a little wiggly with it, but that was pretty quick. I wouldn't run my finger on that, but what do you guys think? Worth 60 bucks, probably. This is 1/8 inch. I mean, you could rip through sheet metal with it. Man, where's this thing been all my life? Shite. All right, with our fabulous piece we cut with our Harbor Freighter circular saw, actually worked pretty good, guys. And you know, you got to kind of just say it when it's good. It was pretty decent. I figure I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna clamp it down hard, weld this, and then we're gonna weld there. So for that, we go back to our Arccaptain MIG250. This thing's been great so far, so I'm gonna just, maybe I'll time lapse you. I gotta put you guys where you're not gonna be in the way, and we're gonna get after it. I fully understand the GoPro doesn't do well here, so I will take pictures with my phone and insert them now. of the welds. But pretty decent, guys. You know, that's on synergic mode, just 140. I didn't touch it. It's good. It's good. So I want this to be removable, so I just punched a hole here and over here, and this will lock it in, and then we're going to use our tightener against this, and I think once we do that, it'll stop doing this. So let's tighten that down and we'll just take it for a test run. All right, so that's kind of its final form. You know, this thing's going to put tension so you can use the receiver and it won't flop around. I mean, this thing is like, it'll move the whole Jeep. So I'm pretty happy about that. So I think at this point, all we need to do is figure out what's going to go across the bottom so the tires don't rest on the body. Just got back from Tractor Supply. I needed some type of like wheel stop. So I just bought a couple cheap U-bolts. It'll grab a piece of 1.5 or a piece of 2 dependent upon, but this is ideal what I need right here. So it keeps the tire off the body and the light, and then I have a place to strap it. And it's in the basket up there. Guys, don't worry, I got the fans on in the paint booth. It's fine, you can hear them in the background, but prime it up, and then we'll paint it up, and then we'll mount it up. All right, boys and girls, there she is. We are waiting on the straps to come in from Amazon, but I got to wrap this video up because we are getting a storm in about an hour that's going to be rolling through. Guys, if you have a swing out tire carry, or if you just got a hitch, you know, you come up, you go up, you make the same apparatus. What do you need? A couple tools. You don't need to get that bender from Harbor Freight. You could, you know, screw something down and just pull that 1/2 inch around it. Do you even need to use 1/2 inch? You could probably use 3/8. I maybe went a little overboard. But overall, I am super happy with the outcome of this. So what do we got? We got the couple hoops we made. We just basically got a T-bar. We got a bar at the bottom, which I just put on some U-bolts. I got to cut those off. Our straps will go right around here and right around there. Paint's not drying well, boys. I am disgusted with this paint. It is absolutely terrible. But as far as making this thing completely usable for off-road use and bringing the mountain bikes up to our spot, it's 100% win. So who do we have to thank right now? Arccaptain, obviously. MIG250, that thing's smooth as butter. It MIGs, it tags, it's got a spool gun. You want a discount on it? I got you a discount. It's Mad Ginger at checkout. I'm gonna have a link in the description so you can grab an Arccaptain welder. They got plasma cutters, TIG welders, MIG welders, arc welders, and my discount code works on every single product, even if it's on sale. So remember that. Even if it's on sale, you're still gonna save my discount on it. All right, guys, let's do some coffee shout outs because those people are super important to my channel. We have a Buy Us a Coffee link in the description. You can go there, you can buy 1 coffee, you can buy 1,000,000. The money goes to building stuff, buying parts, that kind of thing. Right off the bat, let's go with Spence. Spence bought 10 coffees. That is a significant amount of support for this channel. Spence, we appreciate you, W. Spence. Joe and Ginny have always supported this channel through Buy Us a Coffee. We appreciate you. They always send these heartfelt notes. We really appreciate that as well. 10 coffees from Joe and Ginny. Matt Willis bought 10 cups of coffee as well. So W. Matt, we appreciate you, Matt. Thanks so much. 10 cups with Matt Willis. That's awesome. And Jason Kerrigan. Jason Kerrigan also bought a cup. So thanks, Jason. Thanks for supporting us along our journey. And guys, you watched us build this. If you need a vertical carrier, you can absolutely make it. These things are kind of all the rage now, mountain bikers, and you know, because you can store more bikes, hang more bikes. Now we could put more bikes, we could put more baskets, you know what I mean? But CJ's kind of small. If you wanted to do something like this, you could, even if you had a hitch, you just come out of the hitch, go straight up, put the baskets on the top. Guys, you watch me do it. And if I can do it, you can do it. Grab yourself an Arccaptain welder and weld one of these things together. Thanks for watching. Look what shows up right after I finish the video. Such is life.